You know, we've all been there, right? Working from a coffee shop, a co-working space, maybe just from the couch. But let's be honest, how often do we really stop and think about the security risks that come with browsing the web outside of the company's firewall? Well, today, we're going to dive into a technology designed to solve that exact problem. It's called remote browser isolation, and it's a pretty powerful way to keep your devices safe no matter where you are or what you're doing. So let's get into it. This quote, it really just cuts straight to the chase, doesn't it? I mean, just think about it for a second. One single click on a phishing email that looks legit or some malicious ad, and boom, suddenly your accounts, maybe even company data, are completely exposed. That's the high stakes game we're all playing online, and is the core problem we're here to unpack today. Look, we all love the flexibility of modern work, obviously. But that freedom, it comes with a pretty big security challenge. Every personal device, every unsecured Wi-Fi network, it becomes a potential door for threats. It kind of turns our greatest asset, that flexibility, into a really major vulnerability. And that brings us to what we can call the modern work dilemma. You see, the issue isn't just about working from home. It's about using your personal Mac, or maybe a borrowed Chromebook, or even a contractor's machine that your IT team has absolutely zero control over. Each one of those devices expands what the security pros call the attack surface. So let's break down the specific dangers of this whole bring your own device world. It's not just one thing. I mean, take that contractor's machine, for example. You have no clue what software's on it, if it's been patched recently, or heck, if it's already been compromised. Even something that seems innocent, like a shared browser profile for quick access, can open a door for an attacker. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, don't we already have tools for this stuff? And that's a totally fair question. It's actually exactly what we're going to tackle next. Let's dig into why the old ways of doing things just don't cut it anymore in this new work environment. Okay, check out this table. It lays the whole problem out so clearly. Let's just walk through it real quick. Look at the traditional methods. Browser profiles? Nope, they don't stop malware. VPNs? They're great for encrypting your connection for sure, but they do absolutely nothing to protect your actual device from a malicious website. And VDI, or virtual desktops? Well, they can work, but they are often super complex and a real pain for users. As you can see, only one solution here, that cloud browser using RBI, actually manages to check all the boxes. So the bottom line is, each of these older solutions has a critical flaw, especially for today's flexible work world. They either don't give you enough security, or they create so much friction for users that productivity just grinds to a halt. It feels like a constant trade-off you're forced to make. So, if the old ways are broken, what's the new way? Let's pivot to the solution. And this is it, remote browser isolation, or RBI for short, and you'll see it's a surprisingly elegant answer to the challenges we've just been talking about. So what in the world is RBI? You know, I think the best way to explain it is with an analogy. Imagine instead of letting a stranger, which is basically what a website is, into your home, you talk to them through a reinforced shatterproof window. The website runs in a totally secure, disposable container way out in the cloud, and all you get on your device is a safe, interactive stream of pixels. The risky code never, ever gets a chance to touch your machine. Let's break it down into 3 really simple steps. First, you click a link or type in a URL. Second, a disposable browser in a secure cloud environment does all the dangerous work. It loads the page, it executes all the code, and finally, that entire session is just streamed to your screen like a video. You can click, type, and scroll just like you normally would, but you're completely insulated from any potential threat. Now, it gets a little technical here, but there are basically 2 main ways RBI works. First, you have pixel streaming. This is the most secure method. It's that literal video feed of the remote browser we talked about. It means absolutely nothing from the original website ever reaches your device. The other method is called DOM mirroring. It's a bit different. It analyzes the website's code and then rebuilds a sanitized version of it on your local browser. Now, this can sometimes feel a little faster, but pixel streaming is what gives you that ultimate airtight separation from danger. All right, theory is great, but what does this technology actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a practical example, a tool called Sendwin. It's a cloud browser that's built on these exact RBI principles, and it's a perfect case study for how this tech can boost not just security, but productivity too. Here's the core concept, and it's pretty cool. Imagine every single browser tab you open is its own fresh, secure, totally isolated computer running somewhere in the cloud. There are no extensions to worry about, no software you have to install on your machine. And this is what makes it so perfect for those bring-your-own-device situations. You don't have to touch the user's personal device at all. And this is where the benefits for teamwork really start to shine. I mean, instead of just reading these off a list, think about the power of this. You can share access to an account without ever giving away the password. Or you can create a disposable browser for one specific, maybe risky task, knowing the whole thing will just vanish without a trace when you're done. These features aren't just about security. They really change how teams can work together. This quote just nails it. Think about onboarding a new contractor. Instead of creating a whole new set of credentials and then trying to remember to disable them later, you just grant them, say, 1 hour of access to a live, already logged-in session. When the timer's up, poof, their access just evaporates. It's secure, it's simple, and there's basically no friction. Okay, so who is this actually for? To get a better sense, let's look at some of the common ways people are using this and see how different professionals are applying this tech to their day-to-day work. Maybe you'll see yourself in one of these. The applications here are just incredibly broad. You've got marketers who are juggling dozens of client ad accounts and just can't risk getting locked out. Then there are e-commerce sellers who need to keep their different online stores completely separate to avoid getting banned by a platform. And of course, it's an absolutely perfect fit for any remote worker who needs to securely access company stuff from their personal laptop. When it comes right down to it, it all boils down to 3 huge wins. First, you dramatically lower the risk of malware infecting your devices. Second, onboarding and offboarding contractors becomes almost instant and completely secure. And third, you make sure that no sensitive company data, like login cookies or browser history, is ever left behind on a personal machine. And for anyone who might be curious about how accessible this kind of tech is, it's pretty interesting to see that the barrier to entry can be super low. The source material we looked at points out that some tools in this space offer trials for as little as $1, which makes it really easy to just test it out and see if it works for you. And this really brings us to the final powerful question. With technology like remote browser isolation becoming more and more common, the promise of being able to truly, securely work from any device isn't just some far-off possibility anymore. It's about finally striking that perfect balance between flexibility and security. And that's a balance that's only becoming more critical every single day.